And the question is, um, does does President Trump, does the U.S. Um, decide to provide these very, very lethal, effective missiles?
And after securing that deal to release the hostages being held by Hamas and the ceasefire, now looking in jeopardy in Gaza. But President Trump's attention may be shifting once again to Ukraine. He's due to meet President Zelensky at the White House on Friday, after he hinted that the US could consider arming Ukraine with long-range Tomahawk cruise missiles. Let's talk to Peter Zwack, who is a US Brigadier General and a former US military attache to Moscow. Peter, a very good evening to you.
Good evening, Carol.
How significant do you think this meeting between President Zelensky and Trump is going to be on Friday?
It will be quite significant. However, we have had in the past several moments when discussions for ordnance, for missiles and other things were on the table, and we worked through most of it. We're talking right now about Tomahawk missiles, which are extremely capable, long-range, precise missiles that the United States have been using to great effect since the Gulf War in 1991. And the question is, does President Trump, does the U.S. Decide to provide these very, very lethal, effective missiles? The flip side of this question, of course, there's always Russia. And Russia, of course, is starting the rhetoric about putting it in.
Well, President Trump was saying, wasn't he, on Sunday, speaking on Air Force One, that he could approve the delivery of these Tomahawk missiles, which, as you say, have a range of over 1,500 miles, that he could supply those to Ukraine unless Putin agrees to a ceasefire or a peace deal. Do you think that that is a serious threat?
Yes, that is real leverage. However, the bottom line on the ground is that Ukrainians, and they deserve it, are in this scenario will likely get an extremely effective long-range missile for this critical ongoing battle. And yes, that could put pressure on Putin, but what is Putin's counterplay? This is where his minions could go into the rhetoric of nuclear options, and we've been down this road before. But these are the type of things will come up. If we go down this road, we will need to be steadfast, which we have done before.
It's just interesting, isn't it, Peter? Because we saw, didn't we, that very high-profile summit between President Trump and President Putin. But since then, basically nothing has happened in terms of trying to get towards any kind of resolution of the conflict there. Do you think that President Trump might seriously try to turn his attention to this, to try to get some sort of breakthrough, such as he has done in the Middle East with the signing of that deal, albeit there are now questions over its implementation?
Success begets success. And I can't speak for the president, but I think he is going to go full bore in trying to get an agreement. I think that the Putin and the Russians have, of course, been a very, very difficult play. I think that President Trump and well, frankly, the Americans and our allies think we've gotten a lot of lip service from the Russians, and they've strung us along on the issues, ceasefires in Ukraine. I think now that Trump is aware, and he has mentioned it as so, that he's tired of being strung along. It's a little bit like being a mafia crime chief and saying they're disrespecting us. I think Putin has a lot to consider. But I think their course of action, number one, is threat and the rattle the cage.
Peter Zwack, US Brigadier General, a former US military attache to Moscow. Great to speak to you. Thank you very much indeed.
So, good morning. I really want to welcome Pete Hegseth here to NATO again, to the Defense Ministers meeting. This will be an important meeting because we had a successful summit in The Hague. And there is now much more cash on the table. There is firepower coming out of our defense industry, which is so important. And we are doing everything collectively to keep Ukraine strong. For everything you are doing, Mark.
It's great to see you. Great to see you. Absolutely. Great to be here. And Mark mentioned it. Firepower. That's what is coming, we expect, and is coming from NATO. And it was a historic summit just a couple of months ago, brought about by leadership of President Trump to say we need our allies to step up. And they did, and they have, in those commitments. Now those commitments will soon translate into capabilities, which is the most important aspect of it. And one part of that, of course, is Pearl, is the initiative where European countries buy U.S. weapons transferred to NATO for the fight in Ukraine to bring peace to that conflict. And if there's anything we've learned under President Trump, is the active application of peace through strength. Yes. You get peace when you are strong, not when you use strong words or wag your finger. You get it when you have strong and real capabilities that adversaries respect. But also note a historic moment as well for a lot of things to happen, given what the president's been able to do in Gaza and throughout the Middle East. I think the world is seeing that we have a peace president who seeks that peace through standing by those that stand with the United States and stand for peace, which is what we saw there, and I hope we can see in Ukraine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. See you later today at the pressers.